Hey, how's it going, guys? Trade AD, and it is May 21st. I took two trades. Both of them went pretty well. One of them I didn't record because it was near the end of the day, and I didn't realize I was actually going to take it. It wasn't a it wasn't A setup, A plus setup. But when you spend so much money on something like this, um, in your early 20s, you just gotta make your money back off weed, right? So weed it puts a smile on everybody's faces. It seems to prevent and help people with cancer. I can imagine that. I mean, if I had cancer, I'd be smoking my ass off. Um, but now they're saying that it has the ability to prevent and help people with COVID. Now, I've been following along with this, and this is kind of old news, I think. This news has been around the past few days, so I'm a little bit skeptical, but it's whatever. Um, Cannabis does work. I use it for my wife's lupus. I bought the maximum strength CBD, and I think it really does help her whenever she has a potential flare. Um, uh, she takes it, and it calms her immune system down. And yeah, I mean, I'm a believer. I've always been a believer since my early 20s. Haven't smoked in a long time. Don't really need to. But you never know. Maybe on one of those red days, maybe it'll help me sleep. Maybe I should just take that CBD, my wife's CBD, to help me sleep. But anyways, I digress. I took two trades. One of them was Sonos. So Sonos here is hitting somewhere on the daily. It's not very clean, but what is very clean is that is the ones chart is just phenomenal. It's moving on up. It's very bullish. Every green 1 minute candle is big, and the volume is increasing, which signifies that there's an equal amount of buyers and sellers as it starts stalling out near the top. So I'm checking the daily here, and it's looking really good. So the volume's ramping as usual, and I'm just waiting for that 1 minute trigger. Now, when I do something like this, being $10, I'm going to go large because I just know it's going to go. But when it does go, even though I may set my stop at high a day, it doesn't mean I'm going to use it. Uh, Most likely, I'm going to trail it out and just get out if it goes the wrong way. So here's a little bit of red. I'm looking at the time and sales in level 2 here, and just waiting to see if it's going to get pushed down. And this is looking really good here. So I enter at 10:09, a little bit of slippage, but that's generally what happens. And then it kind of spooks me a little bit when it goes up. So I set my stop. I'm watching level 2, how the 1017 on the ask is getting bigger. So I know it's is potentially going to go down. There's a 16. Now I want the 1016 to go get bigger on the ask, and it's going really well now. With the 1016 growing, 1014, and I add some more because now it's triggering on a solid ones. And all I'm looking for is just a push down. One nice push down. So from here, I would assume that my manual stop will probably be under 1020. Basically, I don't really want it to pass up the previous 1 minute candle for the stop, that is. And so the one thing that's keeping me in the game here is that the volume is nice and low. That signifies um, that it's going in a in a direction and doesn't have much interest in going the opposite direction. If I see a spike in volume, then I'm going to get pretty worried. So that one stalled a bit, but the volume was low, and there's the tank. And then I see 602, and as I get out of my stops, um, again, slippage, and at 480 something, and then I get out and I get 326. I probably could complain a little bit, but that's fine because that was a solid move down. Now, with that many shares, a lot of you will say, well, how come you didn't keep any shares? Well, this is only at 11-ish, and it's very possible after this catalyst that it may want to go back up, and I think it did. In fact, it did a little bit near the afternoons. So just bear in mind that with that amount of shares, I'm in and out. I'm happy with what happened. And you can see right now that the volume spiked up, right? And it's actually rethinking its position. And this is where it actually goes up a little bit. On the next trade, I took Tilray. And the biggest question I had with Tilray was the fact that this isn't the only marijuana stock, and yet Tilray is the only one that's being affected here. So I was a little bit skeptical, to tell you honestly. I don't know what's going on with this stock to dissect it, but it's moving on up really well. You could tell, and the only issue with this is it resets. You see that big red candle there that resets on ones, and the volume is very large, but is not truly ramping. So it's moving on up. Now the thing is, if I go into the dailies chart, you're going to see that there is a little bit of a resistance area, but with human behavior in mind, the one number that we all love is 10. So 10 is the magic number in my opinion as it moves on up. So I really just sit on my hands and just wait for it to reach that beautiful number. Now it keeps resetting. It makes things really dirty, and so I can tell that a lot of people may get faked in, and yet if it hits tens and you see that volume spike right there, if I just push it up, you can see it's near 750,000. That is significant, and it moves down, so I actually get 10 cents on that one. And overall, I did pretty good. I made about a little over $500 altogether. That is, this one was 100, and the other one was 300 something. Altogether, it came out to be 501, I think. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Short and sweet. Only two areas of stress for today, and that's pretty much how I'm going to be trading from now on. It seems to be easier that way. I don't take any trades. The main issue with this kind of approach is the fact that you sit on your hands for a long time. And if you're new at this, you really feel like you're wasting your time, wasting your day, and you just itch to take another trade. So I'm kind of past that, but I'm not saying that you should be too, because a lot of times there are a lot of trades I miss out on. So like I know I missed out on GMED. I called it out in the chat room, but I didn't take it because it was a curl down, and it was a perfect trigger on ones, and of course that was probably a good 80 to 90% success rate at that kind of trade as well. And so I knew Carnan made some good money off that, I think. Yeah, actually a few people did pretty good on that one, and it's discouraging. It gets more and more discouraging the more you miss out on. But I'm just looking for one setup, one perfect trade, and I'm done. And I'm happy with that. It just seems to work out when it comes to just trying to be as consistent as possible, in my opinion. So that's it for today, guys. And most likely I'm going to take tomorrow off because still trying to catch up on my sleep. And yeah, probably going to have to go to the doctor about that. But I'm going to try that CBD because, weed is awesome. And I'll check y'all on Monday. Have a great weekend. Iron sharpens iron, guys. So we're always here to help each other out. And yeah, I'll see you Monday. Bye.